Warning. Gory Storytime is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Storytime. I'm your host, Jason.
And I'm his co-host and father, Craig. And it's been too long, you forgot, huh?
I forgot
Yeah,
if
we've
I
missed,
just started
3
with
or
my
4
name
weeks
or...
probably. Partially because, as anyone that follows Fact TV knows, they're working on episode 2 of the Strange Events. And
We're not trying to get in the way of
then
that, so...
we had a bunch of stuff that we were trying to work on, hoping, because we got 2 more episodes. And the second episode will be our episode 100, so we want to do something special for that.
After our next episode, not next week, because
Next week they're closed.
there's a holiday.
But
We're going to do special episodes.
that's the plan. But anyway, for now, this week, we just watched it last night, actually, with your mother.
Yeah.
We watched Winchester.
The classic movie.
From 2018.
Early this year.
Inspired
Winchester.
by the true story of the Winchester house, which anyone that knows what that is, it's a very odd house in San Diego?
San Jose.
San Jose? Okay. I knew it was San something, but not Francisco. I wasn't sure which.
In California.
Yes. But before we get too far into it, let's let the trailer play and let the people know what the movie is.
It's Winchester.
I feel their presence. In the air, in the walls. It has found us.
It's a gargantuan 7-storied structure with no apparent rhyme or reason.
Built on the orders of a grieving widow. Sarah Winchester's mind is as chaotic as the house itself. We're worried about her sanity, Dr. Price.
Mrs. Winchester, it's a pleasure to finally meet you.
Do you believe in ghosts, Dr. Price?
I do not believe in anything I cannot see or study.
I feel their presence. In the air, in the walls. It has found us.
Mrs. Winchester, why all the construction?
The spirits, killed by the rifle. We lock them away. 13 nails seals them in. I will do whatever it takes to protect my family. This spirit has a power we've not seen before.
Beautiful dreamer, wake unto me. Starlight and dewdrops are waiting for thee. Sounds of the rude world heard in the day.
I'm not afraid.
Lulled by the moonlight of all passed away.
You leave my family alone. Your anger will never defeat us.
Looks good.
It
Was good.
I was going to say.
Wait a second.
weirdo. Now, of course, before we get into the
Meat and beef of our
this,
show.
if we get a t-shirt, we got to have it say, like, meat and beef. Just because that's your catchphrase, apparently.
Apparently.
Well,
but it's got to be in quotes.
Unlike your catchphrase at home, which is just "duh," but
wait for the roast.
Wait for the roast. Yes, that is something we're working on too, is roasting one another for our 100th episode. But anyway, for now, before we get into the behind the scenes or meat and beef, we're going to give a shout out to our real sponsors that actually exist and we can use and purchase and stuff. This week, for example, Gory Storytime is brought to you by Guns R Us, the world's largest gun store chain in America. Sing along if you know it. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Guns R Us kid. There's lots of guns, they're tons of fun for me to play with shells and magazines for AR-15s. It's the greatest gun store there is. And I don't want to grow up, 'cause if I did, I couldn't be a Guns R Us kid. You didn't sing along. Come on, you know the song.
Right.
Also,
Mirren's House of Spirits. Come to Mirren's, where we don't sugarcoat it, buy our booze and get drunk off your butt. If you're sober and want that to change, we want to welcome you to Mirren's House of Spirits, where drunk as a skunk is not only our middle name, but also our state of mind. Mention you heard about them from Gory Storytime, and get a rum raisin cake for dessert. Emphasis on the rum. That's Mirren's House of Spirits with our new drive-up window. Please drink responsibly.
all right. So before we do that, do you want to explain the basic premise of the movie?
So this is the company. They sell a lot of guns.
Yeah, it's a real company, Winchester. They also make knives.
Yeah.
Is that the same Winchester company?
Yes.
I thought so.
Then there's this lady whose husband dies.
And left her 51% of the company.
And she's real sad, so she moves and builds a really big house out of a slightly big house.
And she believes that her house is infested with anyone who has died from
at the hands
a
of
Winchester,
someone wielding a Winchester.
Whether it's a good person, bad person, or a stray bullet hitting a random person. Well, yes, she also, according to the movie, invented the roller skate.
Yeah.
In 1906 or whatever. But anyway, that's the basic plot of the movie.
Yeah. So, and she hates guns.
And she hates guns. Well, because she sees all the dead people arguing with her and fighting with her in her house. So, you want to start?
Sure. The Winchester Mystery House is a mansion located in San Jose, California. It is believed to be haunted by the victims of the Winchester rifle. It has been a tourist attraction since 1923, a year after Sarah Winchester's death.
Very little filming took place in the actual mansion. Duh. The mansion's design, in reality, is extremely cramped, making filming very difficult. As such, most of the mansion's exterior needed to be recreated on sound stages. How do you recreate that mess? There's no blueprints that could work.
No.
Not even possible. But anyway.
No. Sarah Winchester had severe debilitating arthritis and had a series of short risers, only 3 to 4 inches high, in place of stairs, as it was very painful for her to raise her foot more than a few inches.
Which they showed in the movie. According to records kept by the Mystery House proprietors today, Sarah Winchester constantly built and rebuilt the house through her 38 years of residence. The Winchester house has windows and doors in the floors, doors that open into walls or go nowhere, the stairs to nowhere or into the ceiling. It's a total area of about 6 acres.
Oh, and that's just the house. I imagine how much land she actually owned.
Yeah.
The promotional image for the film of Helen Mirren sitting in the carriage in mourning clothes mirrors the only known photograph of the reclusive Sarah Winchester on the estate, which is seen on the tour of the mansion in San Jose.
The first company Oliver Winchester, Sarah's father-in-law, owned was a men's shirt company, Winchester & Company. His twin brother Samuel, in the 1860s, Winchester invented a volcanic repeating arms company that never produced a revolver designed by Horace Smith. Wait, what? Okay, volcanic repeating arms company that produced, there we go, a revolver designed by Horace Smith and Daniel Wesson of Smith & Wesson. When the company went bankrupt, he bought the company out and cleared the debt of $57,000. Back then, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Lionsgate bought the film.
Nope.
Oh, sorry, that's your turn.
Lionsgate bought the film and photography rights to the Winchester Mansion for this film. So now tourists are not allowed to take any pictures of the interior of the mansion because a tourist photo would be in direct competition with a Hollywood movie. That's messed up.
Yeah. So the photography rights, that's dumb.
That's bad.
Winchester did expand manufacturing other household goods, including roller skates, but not until the 1920s. Despite being a skilled inventor, Sarah Winchester did not invent roller skates as implied in the film. Oh,
okay.
They were already mass-produced for decades in the States by 1906.
Right.
Good to know. I should have read these before I went on about that.
The movie Slide. Okay. World-renowned parapsychologist / paranormal investigator. I don't know why I keep saying that. Christopher Chacon?
Chacon? I don't know.
Chris.
Chris.
Conducted the only scientific investigation of the reported haunt phenomena of the Winchester Mansion and property in the early 90s, which was sanctioned by the Winchester property owners.
In real life, Sarah Winchester was 4'10". Helen Mirren is 5'4". Oh no, that just ruined the whole movie for me. I can't possibly believe it because she was a little taller. What?
The directors are twins. Dame Mirren likened the experience to having one mind speaking through two mouths.
Weird. Partly to avoid confusion with Supernatural in 2005, featuring main characters Sam and Dean Winchester, the movie was released in some countries under the title Winchester, the House That Ghosts Built.
Okay.
Kind of lame.
Yeah.
But just Winchester doesn't really seem descriptive either.
Alright, but the title shouldn't be that descriptive.
Yeah.
The quotes on the stained glass windows shown at the beginning wide unclasped the tables of their thoughts, and these same thoughts people this little world are obscure Shakespearean quotes and not even from the same play. No one knows why Sarah Winchester chose them.
We actually don't know much about what the Winchester house looked like, furnished during Sarah Winchester's time. She was very private and generally didn't allow photos. So it wasn't just Lionsgate.
Right.
Marriott auctioned off what she didn't want herself after her death. Records were not kept of what was auctioned off. So much of the furniture was essentially lost to history, which is something I was telling you. They didn't even advertise it as Winchester House furniture. Nowadays, someone would because it would increase the value. But back then, they figured that was uncouth. Like, why would you connect ghosts to this
Which
stuff?
means, do the people who have the stuff from that house know
don't even know.
They
don't even know.
Wow. That's a bummer.
Till they go to sit down and there's like
Ghosts
a ghost
and
like
stuff.
grabbing them or something. Yeah.
Right. Sarah Winchester and her house are given their own chapter discussion in Ghostland and American History in Haunted Places, written by Colin Dickey in 2016. Historically, Sarah Winchester was living in a time that was uncommon and unusual for women to pursue architecture. She was never licensed. Instead, she practiced and experimented on her own house. When one project would prove to not work out, or she would lose interest, a new project would be started. Even the projects that were completed would have been off kilter appearance due to space constraints. It is easier to continue building and expanding the size of various parts of the house and within the house than to tear it out and start over.
The Travel Channel show Ghost Adventures from 2008 aired 2 investigations. Ghost Adventures Winchester Mystery House and Ghost Adventures Return to Winchester Mystery House from 2011 and 2016, which depicted evidence of supposed paranormal happenings at the Winchester mansion.
According to Wendy Cork, the costume designer on the film, Miss Marriott's, or Sarah Snook,
That's the actress.
right?
Miss Marriott was the character.
Large, puffy sleeves are actually much slimmer and smaller than the fashion was at the time.
The nickname of the house is the most haunted house in America.
Well, it was the most house
Yeah.
in America. Despite the title of the supernatural-themed film, Winchester is unrelated to the Supernatural TV series, which has the Winchester brothers as its principal characters.
They might have been inspired by the name or something, no? In the movie, Sarah Winchester claims 13 nails are necessary to retain ghosts in their respective rooms, nailing a wooden piece to the floor, or in the floor. It's a nod to real-life Sarah Winchester, who was obsessed with the number 13. Her house had 13 candles. All the wall clothes hooks were multiples of 13. A spiderweb pattern stained glass window contained 13 colored stones. The drain covering the sinks have 13 holes. In Sarah's tribute, the house's groundskeepers have created a topiary shaped like the numeral 13, and every Friday the 13th, the large bell is rung 13 times at 1300 hours, which would be 1 p.m., in tribute to her.
Wow. That's a lot of 13.
Yes.
The 1906 earthquake happened in the early morning around 5 a.m., not midnight. The top 3 stories of the house collapsed, and multiple rooms were shut up permanently at this time as being unsafe.
The massacre at the Winchester showroom was purely fictional, never happened.
Okay. In the scene of the 1906 San Francisco earthquake, someone dies, but in real life, the only casualties were cupolas. Cupolas?
Dome roofing.
Okay, and a tower.
The room where Sarah is channeling spirits to draw architectural designs is a reaction of a real room in the house known as the Witch's Cap. If you look closely, the walls taper in. The real room is conical, so the walls come up to a point. Conical. It is a cone, but it's pronounced conical.
Okay. The real Marion Marriott went by the name Daisy, had no son, though she adopted her daughter after 1906, and left Sarah Winchester's employ as a secretary before 1906 to marry into the Marriott family, no relation to the hotels. Also, her husband did not die tragically.
So it's just full of lies. This
And
fictionalized
ghosts.
movie is nonsense. But anyway. All right, so what was your favorite scene in this movie?
My favorite
Start
scene,
with positive.
yeah, would probably be basically anything with, spoiler alert, there's a guy that's like right up at the beginning of the movie that you find out is a ghost, and that's why he was only ever talking to the guy who can see ghosts there. And right from the beginning, I was like, okay, this guy's weird. And I just, everything about him I loved. And then there was an awesome jump scare. My mom screamed. It was hilarious.
I hope she's watching live so when you get
I
home
hope
she
she
smacks
does.
you.
Well, no, but I just loved everything about his character, and he was spooky.
All right. I would say my favorite thing is, as much as she was anti-gun, there was definitely some pro-gun stuff in there, and it's like the real anti-gun spirits were the bad guys.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the main good guy that was trying to
The
help.
anti-gun guy went into a place and shot up a bunch of people.
Yeah. It's like
for
he
making
was,
guns.
Right. So if you think about it, like that was, it could be taken either way, but I like that there was some what saved them.
A gun.
Right. There we go. Spoiler alert.
Good guy with a gun.
What's your least favorite part?
Shouldn't you? Oh yeah, you just did.
I just did my favorite.
Okay.
Now it's your
never
turn
mind.
for.
My least favorite would probably be the. We gotta wrap up soon. Yeah. So when the guy was like drinking poison, I didn't
Yeah.
quite understand that.
He was trying to become immune.
Like,
Okay.
But like they didn't do that at that time anymore.
Wrapping it up doesn't mean go longer into it.
Yeah, I know.
So I would say my least favorite part was probably just like the stuff with he just happened to be where the kid was jumping. He just happened to be where all these different things happened. It was like, the likelihood of one person just happening to be there to prevent tragedy over and over again, very unlikely. What would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'd probably have to give it like a 7.5.
All right, I'm gonna probably give it a 7. I would go a little higher, but I think it could have been a little scarier, and it could have. I mean, I don't even need it to be rated R. PG-13 was fine for it, but I think there could have been a little more scares.
More scares.
All right, so let's just give a quick shout out to our email is gorystorytime@yahoo.com. Check us out on Facebook. Just look up Gory Storytime. There's links to episodes. There's, different memes and stuff. So,
Yep.
and you can check me out on Twitter. I'm at Craig Jakes, all one word, all lowercase. And you?
You can watch this on Fact TV, Channel 8. You can go to their website, fact8.com, and watch a bunch of back episodes. You can like Fact TV on Facebook, unless you're
watching
probably
it
already
now.
have.
Twitter.
Oh, Twitter. I'm at Jason T. Jakes, capital J, capital G, capital J. Don't talk about the show, but that's fine.
That's about it, other than the people and the Rotten Tomatoes score.
14.
Was the critics score, and the people had it at 36. And that's about it. So that's Gory Story Time this week.
Until next time, I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig.
And sweet dreams.